Bagels are hard to find where I live, so I wanted to see if it's actually worth making them at home. It didn't exactly go as planned. I'm using warm water, 240 milliliters, 3 teaspoons of active yeast. I'm using a little bit less yeast than I found in most recipes, just to see if that improves the taste. Tablespoon of sugar. I'm using a whisk to make sure everything is mixed together. I'll let it rest for about 5 minutes. I bought this pizza flour a while back and I thought, why not use this to make the bagels? 400 grams of the pizza flour. A teaspoon of fine sea salt. Whisking it. Then adding the flour. I'm going to first use a spoon to combine the wet and the dry ingredients. Put a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick. And gather all the bits together so it forms a smooth ball. So from that shaggy dough, I formed it into a rough ball, and I'm going to continue to knead it until it's smooth. The dough feels a little bit sticky on my hands, but I'm not going to add flour. I don't think it's necessary because it's not sticking onto the counter. I'm going to knead it for 8 minutes. The dough is no longer sticky. It started to become very smooth. I still have about 3 minutes to go on the timer. So let's keep kneading. Okay, perfect. So I've kneaded it for about 8 minutes. The dough texture is super smooth. I'm gonna place it in the bowl. And now I will cover it with a clean kitchen towel and let it rest for about 30 minutes. It's been about 45 minutes of resting time. And the dough looks like this. I didn't grease the bowl, so it's sticking slightly, but it's actually not so bad. It's easy to peel off. Okay. So I brought the scale out again, and I'm going to weigh each piece. So each piece weighs about 125 grams. Therefore, I'll be making 5 bagels. So I've seen a few videos on how to shape a bagel, and the one I want to try is a method where you kind of flatten it out. Bring the top part into the middle, kind of pinch it along, and then you roll it towards you, so it kind of becomes a big log. And then you flatten it out again. Actually, I'm not really sure if I'm doing it right. Let's see. And then you tuck it in the middle again. And then you roll it over. You know when something looks easier on a video than in reality? I feel like this is one of those moments. And then you join the ring, and then pinching the two ends so they meet. The guy just rolled it out like that. Okay, so it looks like that. This side is a little bit skinnier than the rest, but to be honest, I don't really mind. And I do want that bagel hole there after it's baked, so I'm just gonna leave it bigger than I think it should be. I'm gonna try a different way to shape the bagel by making a ball. I'm trying to make the bottom of the dough to be a bit more seamless. And then poke a hole in the middle with my fingers. And then shaping it like that. I wonder if I can just use the same technique by putting the fingers in there. I think this way was simpler because I don't have to worry about connecting the two ends together. And the bagel is actually more uniformed in width. So I have 5 bagels in total. I try to leave as much space between each bagel as much as possible. I'm gonna cover it up with a damp cloth again and put it in the fridge for about 24 hours. I removed the pan from the fridge and let's carefully peel off the kitchen towel and see how it did. Oh, whoops. I think I underestimated how much they spread out. Oh no, they're sticking to the kitchen towel. I wonder if I should just reshape them. Like, look at this. This one looks really wonky. Okay, I'll let it rest in room temperature while I prepare the pot of boiling water. I decided I'm going to reshape the funny looking ones, like this one, and this one, and I'll leave these two just to see how they do. By the way, I've preheated the oven to 220 degrees Celsius, and I'm also boiling a large pot of water so I can boil the bagels. Like this. And I've prepared a baking pan, and I'll leave this bagel here. I think next time if I were to make bagels at home again, I wouldn't pre-shape them before putting it in the fridge. I would shape it right before boiling because this looks kind of funky. And as an experiment, I'm gonna leave these two as is. As you can see, I've boiled a large pot of water, a couple tablespoons of honey, a big spoonful of baking soda as well. I'm going to lower the temperature a bit so it's not boiling so rapidly. I'll slowly put it in the pot. I'll do, I think, 3 at a time, cooking each side for about 1 minute. And apparently they should float to the top. Whoa, that's cool. Actually, this one is stuck. Oh, amazing. I'm gonna flip them over and see if they need to be boiled on both sides, just in case, for another minute or so. I'm removing them from the pot and placing them onto a baking sheet. When I tried to remove the other bagel that I wasn't going to reshape, it turned out like that. So I'm going to reshape it. So I reshaped the bagel, and then I'm gonna throw it in here. So these are what they look like once they are removed from the pot. I think this is the best time to add toppings. I'm just going to put flaky salt on mine. I'm going to bake the bagels for 20 to 25 minutes. At first glance, the bagels look really good, and I love the color that they have, this golden brown. I'm using this bagel. Looks promising so far. It's nice and soft on the inside and crispy on the outside. For this sandwich, I want to toast my bagel. I have a hot pan, adding some olive oil, English cheddar. My bagels are slightly toasted, salted butter. It has salt crystals within the butter, so it makes it really tasty. And on the other side, I'm using Dijon mustard, slice of ham, the cheddar, some sauerkraut, top piece back on. Ooh. I'm gonna take a bite and see if it's good. It's so crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. I like how it's not too bready because I don't like when bagels are too thick and bready, but this is really light on the inside. Homemade bagels are definitely worth the effort, especially if you don't live in a place where you can't really get bagels. Most of the time is spent resting the dough and then boiling and baking. So with those steps, I think it's totally manageable, and I'll be making it again.